I recently got a new Puget Systems workstation and I wanted to find its breaking point, so I lined up two projects that I've been putting off for a long time that my old workstation couldn't handle. What I discovered kind of surprised me. Last summer, my wife and I were on vacation in Washington State. We did lots of hiking, ate a lot of great food, and toured around Seattle. Now, as we drove from the Olympic National Park to Snoqualmie, we made a pit stop at the Puget Systems HQ. DJ gave us a tour of the office, and I got to say hi to a couple of folks I've known for the past 6 years. It was a lot of fun to see how and where my past and future computers would be assembled. Now, if you're familiar with my channel, you know that I never do sponsored videos. I don't take money to promote products. I support myself by selling KeyShot courses that I make myself, and I also offer consulting services to companies that use KeyShot. In 2019, I left my job at KeyShot to begin freelancing, and I needed a new workstation. So a friend of mine had recommended Puget Systems. I was about to pull the trigger on a new computer when I thought, why not at least ask if they would offer me a discount in exchange for mentioning the new workstation in a few of my tutorials. I lucked out and they offered to send me a workstation free of charge in exchange for introducing viewers like you to their brand. Of course, I agreed, and luckily they have lived up to their reputation. Now fast forward to 2025, my first Puget Systems workstation was getting pretty old. I'd been running into situations where I was designing projects around what my hardware could handle as opposed to what I actually wanted to, which is kind of backwards. So I reached back out to Puget to see if they'd be interested in another partnership, and they said yes. My new workstation is a big upgrade. The AMD Ryzen Threadripper 9970X crushes CPU rendering and complex calculations. The RTX 5090 GPU has 32 gigs of VRAM, allowing it to handle big texture sets and real-time ray tracing. And 256 gigs of RAM allows me to work with massive assemblies without slowdown, where I can simply leave all my creative apps open all at the same time without worrying about performance. They even laser etch my new logo right onto the front of the panel, a nice personal touch that shows the level of customization Puget puts into each of their builds. Now, my old workstation was built to prioritize CPU rendering, but after a couple of years, I added a faster GPU to take advantage of KeyShot's improved GPU mode and NVIDIA's RTX ray tracing technology. Now, despite not having the original GPU in my old system, I still wanted to see how much faster the new workstation is. So I ran a few of my own existing scenes through both workstations. The new workstation was about 61% faster in GPU-focused tasks and 39% faster in CPU-focused tasks. That's great, but it's also kind of what I expected, right? Better hardware equals faster renderings. What I really wanted to know was, could this workstation handle projects that my old setup couldn't even attempt? About 5 years ago, I designed this hourglass, and I even had a physical prototype made. And while it isn't perfect, it was a fun exercise. Now, my original plan was to create a CGI animation showing all these particles flowing through the glass with some cool close-up macro shots. I spent a lot of time in Houdini hacking my way to a rough simulation. And with a ton of trial and error, I was able to export a single frame, and I used it to create these renderings in KeyShot. But creating an actual animation that looked good, that was over my head. Now with my new workstation, I thought maybe I could finally finish this project. I also thought if I was going to make this happen, I needed some help. So I asked my friend Esben Oxholm if he would animate the hourglass for me in Houdini, and he generously agreed to give it a shot. Now he built out and exported it as an alembic sequence, over 1 million individual particles, each with positional data for each frame. The file size was around 5 gigabytes for just 1 second of animation. Now I was so excited to see what this would look like in KeyShot, so I imported the file and I waited, and waited, and waited. After about 15 minutes of waiting, I went to eat lunch, hoping it would be done when I returned. About an hour later, I came back to my computer to find the file had imported, but KeyShot was pretty much non-responsive. Apparently, the way KeyShot processed that alembic file meant that it created an additional file for each frame, resulting in a massive 16 gigabyte sequence. KeyShot wasn't happy with this, and unfortunately, trying with an FBX sequence wasn't any better. Now, the workstation handled it fine, but KeyShot couldn't. Now, I can't really blame KeyShot since it's not designed for VFX-level particle simulations, but this meant the project hit a wall. Now, even though the AMD Ryzen Threadripper 9970X has 32 cores and a base clock of 4 GHz, it took a while for KeyShot to import the massive alembic file I threw at it. Then, for whatever reason, once it had imported, KeyShot just buckled under the stress of the behemoth file. So I had to pivot. My next idea was to create what you could call an optical experiment. I wanted to shoot a laser beam through multiple dispersive optical elements like prisms and lenses and mirrors, things that would create refraction and caustics and dispersion. Now, this is a computationally heavy scene. Caustics are notoriously expensive to calculate. This would have really pushed my old computer, whereas the new workstation handles it like a champ with smooth real-time playback. Now, this allowed me to quickly test out ideas. In Autodesk Fusion, where I do my modeling, I cannot see where the light path is going to go or what the caustics will look like. So to refine the design and validate my ideas, I jump back and forth between modeling in Fusion and rendering in KeyShot to see the final results. Now, once I finalized my design, I began making some test renders. The frames were coming out way faster on the new workstation. But there was a problem. Fireflies. Now, if you're unfamiliar, fireflies are these hot white pixels that show up in complex lighting scenarios. They're distracting, and they differ from frame to frame. So in an animation, they end up flickering in and out, and they ruin the final result. Now, for a still image, while it's tedious, I can still stamp them out in Photoshop. But across thousands of frames for an animation, I didn't have the tools to surgically remove them at that scale. Now, I got so fixated on trying to remove these fireflies that I kind of overlooked the rendering speed of the new workstation. Before I rendered out this final animation, I tested lots of settings in KeyShot. And here's what I found to work best for this scenario. I used GPU rendering. I set the firefly filter to 0.35 and left denoise at 0 to preserve image clarity. I went with max sample set to 2000, and I set the resolution to 4K 2K for a 2:1 aspect ratio. And no matter how much I adjusted KeyShot's settings, I couldn't get clean enough frames. Now, as frustrating as this was, I was not ready to give up. I took the frames I rendered out of KeyShot into DaVinci Resolve for post-production, and I tried to push their denoising tool as far as I could to kill the fireflies. Making use of temporal and spatial luma and chroma threshold, I eventually was able to kill the fireflies. Now, as good as these tools are, they're still not perfect, and I did end up losing some detail, especially on the specular highlights and thin edges. So while the results are not ideal, the fact that I could render out this entire animation at such a high resolution on a single workstation in a reasonable amount of time is pretty insane. So I chose to render out some high quality hero frames as stills and manually remove the fireflies in Photoshop while relying on DaVinci Resolve to help me finish the animations at a less than perfect quality. And honestly, I think they turned out pretty good. The detail, the color, the dispersion, and refraction is exactly what I was after. Now, maybe I'll come back and revisit this animation once KeyShot's firefly removal tool gets a little bit more sophisticated, but for now, I like how these turned out. The NVIDIA 5090 GPU is really fast. The new Blackwell architecture makes for impressive performance gains and is positioned to take advantage of other AI-powered workflows, which I plan to test out soon. Again, the workstation was fine. It rendered fast. It stayed stable. It never struggled. In this case, my limitation was the software's approach to firefly removal and my own post-production workflow. When I think back on this experiment, I have a few thoughts. First, this workstation gave me the freedom to find out where my actual limitations lie, and at least now I know they are not in the hardware. Both projects hit walls, but in both cases, the Puget Systems workstation did exactly what it was designed to do. It gave me real-time performance in a very heavy scene, it rendered quickly and reliably, and it's a lot quieter than my old workstation due to the larger case, more fans, and water cooling. Now, in terms of the projects, the walls I hit were software design decisions and workflow gaps, which, if you think about it, is exactly where the limitations should be when you have the right hardware. Of course, a fancy, expensive computer won't make you a better designer. We all know that. But it can certainly save you time, eliminate workflow bottlenecks, and keep you in that flow state that we all live for as creatives. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Puget Systems. And look, some people are gonna say I'm shilling for them, but I'm the one who approached them, not the other way around. I don't take their money and I don't read their talking points. I'm just sharing my honest experience. The other thing that always comes up is price. And yes, you can build a similar machine for less money, but it's worth asking what you get for this extra cost. Puget runs their own compatibility testing. They develop independent benchmarking software, they test and publish technical articles on each generation of hardware, you get a US-based consultant when you call them who actually listens to you in your workflow, they even thermal test your computer before it ships, and you get a summary of all their QA and test results on your machine before it ships out. I've been to Puget's facility in Auburn, Washington. It's a warehouse where they do the work, not a fancy building with lavish offices. That extra cost you pay, it goes into R&D and customer support, and for me, that's worth it. Your situation might be different, and that's okay. This isn't the last time I'll be working with Puget Systems. I'm looking forward to putting in more hours on this system and pushing my own projects. If you're looking for a new workstation and want to talk with someone at Puget, please use my link below to let them know I sent you. And until next time, happy rendering.